Welcome to Strong with Raj.
If your squat needs 10 cues, you don't have a squat. You have noise. Today, we cut it to 3. 3 cues you can actually think under the bar. 3 cues that fix 90% of problems. Quick note before we dive in. This episode uses an AI synthesized version of my voice with my full consent. The script is written and approved by me. This is educational content, not medical advice. Use spotters or safety bars and train responsibly. Who is this for? Beginners who want a clean, reliable setup. Intermediates stuck with knee cave, a good morning squat, or depth issues. Home gym lifters who want a checklist they can repeat every session. What is a cue and why does it matter? A cue is a trigger, a short reminder of something you already learned. It's loud, assertive, and simple. It tells you, do this right now, under the bar. When the weight is heavy, your senses narrow and your attention shrinks. You don't have room for a paragraph. You have room for a word or two. That's the job of a cue. Cue versus instruction. A cue is not an instruction. Instructions are the detailed steps you practice between sets when your brain has bandwidth. Cues are the quick, repeatable phrases you use during the set when you don't. Practice with instructions, perform with cues. Teaching versus coaching. Teaching builds the model, what a good squat looks like and why. Coaching compares your rep to that model and gives the smallest possible nudge to make it match. That nudge is usually a cue. Good coaching comes from time under the bar and time watching lifters. It's not about fancy programs or macros in this context. It's about guiding one rep to look like the model, safely and repeatably. Forms of cueing. Verbal cues are king, especially on heavy sets. Short, clear, assertive. Visual cues help. Lines on the screen, a finger pointed at a body part, a nod. Tactile cues can work in lighter practice, like a hand near the knee to suggest the direction, but avoid touching lifters under heavy load and always get consent. Online, typed cues must be sharp and memorable. Use simple language and visual overlays, bar path lines, foot pressure dots. The goal is the same. Get the lifter to move like the model.
Overcorrective cues. Why coaches sometimes lie on purpose. Your sense of position isn't perfect, so coaches often cue to the extreme to land you in the middle. If you're drifting onto your toes, a coach might say heels. The goal is mid-foot. If your torso is too vertical, a coach might say lean over. The goal is the right torso angle for your bar position. If your hips shoot up first, you might hear chest with the bar. The goal is hips and chest rising together. The literal words matter less than the movement they produce. Cue 1. Brace hard. Strength starts with pressure. Take your stance, grip the bar, set your back tight, then take a big breath into your belly and sides. Not a tiny chest sip, but a full breath that expands your ribcage all the way around. Think 360, front, sides, and back. Lock your ribs down and hold that pressure. This is your shield. Keep it through the descent, through the bottom, and through the sticking point.
With a belt, use it as a target. Press your whole midsection into the belt. Forward, sideways, and back. The belt is feedback, not a crutch. Without a belt, the rules are the same. Create pressure against your own trunk, like you're preparing to take a punch. When do you breathe? Big breath at the top, brace hard, descend, drive up. And once you're past the sticking point, let air out. Reset at the top and repeat. A quick note on back extension. Fine control of the spinal erectors is limited. They're not built for fiddly precise movements. So don't chase micro adjustments under the bar. Build the position with instructions in warm-ups. Then protect it with one cue under load. Brace hard. If you're extremely flexible, don't overextend your lower back in the name of tight. Neutral plus pressure is the goal. Ribs down, not flared. If in doubt, get a coach to review your form. Common bracing mistakes and fixes. Tiny chest breaths. Pause. Open your mouth. Inhale like you're smelling strong coffee and fill the whole cylinder, dumping air at the bottom. Hold until you're moving up through the sticky spot. Relaxed ribs. Think ribs down. Lock your lats and pull the bar into your back. Drills that carry over. Hands on ribs and obliques to feel 360 expansion. Light fingers under the belt to feel pressure everywhere. A 5-second plank with the same brace. Then go squat and keep that pressure. Cue 2. Midfoot. Balance decides bar path. Keep the bar over midfoot on the way down and on the way up. If the bar drifts forward, your torso dumps and the rep turns into a good morning. If the bar drifts back, you'll feel like you're falling and your heels pop. Build your base with a tripod foot, heel, big toe, little toe. Then screw your feet into the floor and grip the ground. Where is midfoot? Imagine a dot halfway between your heel and your toes. On a side view, the bar should stay stacked over that dot. For most lifters, a medium stance with toes out 15 to 30 degrees works well. Let your knees track over your toes, not collapsing in and not shoved out wildly, just tracking. On the descent, break at the hips and knees together. Sit between your feet, keep the bar stacked over midfoot, and fix your gaze on a spot that doesn't move. Depth means hip crease below the top of the knee. Meet depth, don't dive bomb it. Control down, control up. Overcorrection in action. If you're camping on your toes, a coach might cue heels to pull you back to center. If you're glued to your heels, a coach might cue toes to move you forward to center. The destination is always the same, midfoot. Quick balance checks help. If your toes feel heavy, shift a hair back to center. If your heels feel light, slow down and keep the bar stacked. Use a vertical line in your form checks and aim to keep the bar on that line. Cue 3. Up together. Out of the bottom, hips and chest rise together. Not hips first, not chest first. If your hips shoot up and your chest drops, you've turned your squat into a good morning. You just changed the lift mid-rep, which wastes energy and kills your position. Think, push the floor away. Drive straight up. Lock your lats, anchor your elbows, and let your torso angle be what it needs to be for your bar position. But it should rise as your hips rise together. If this is hard, use pauses and tempo. Pause 1 second just below parallel. Own the position, then drive up. Hips and chest together. Tempo work helps too. 3 seconds down, 1 second pause, then drive. 3 common errors and fast fixes. Error 1. Knee cave. Your knees collapse toward each other out of the bottom, which means you're losing your base and dumping tension. Fix it by narrowing your stance a touch, turning your toes out slightly more and thinking, drive the knees with the feet while keeping pressure through the whole foot, not just the big toe. Drop the load 10 to 15% and own perfect reps for a couple of sessions. Error 2. The good morning squat. Your hips shoot and the bar drifts forward, usually because you lost midfoot or chased depth by folding. Fix it with the cue, up together. Keep your lats tight and pull the bar into your back like you're bending it. And if you're low bar, a slightly higher bar position can help while you retrain. Use 2 to 3 sets of 3 pause reps at depth with a lighter weight to rebuild the pattern. Error 3. Soft brace and breath dump. You inhale just enough to get dizzy and then bleed air in the hole. Fix it with a bigger breath. Full 360 expansion, ribs down, and hold until you're past the sticky point. If you use a belt, set it snug, about 7 out of 10, so you have room to expand. High bar versus low bar, the honest version. High bar puts the bar on the traps, keeps the torso more upright, and increases knee flexion. It's often easier on shoulders and wrists and great for general strength and simplicity. Low bar puts the bar on the rear delts, just below the spine of the scapula, adds a bit more forward lean and a larger hip moment, and often lets you lift more weight if your shoulders and wrists tolerate it. It demands a tighter upper back and adequate shoulder mobility. Which should you use? Pick the one that lets you keep the bar over midfoot, hit depth, pain-free, and stay consistent for months. Both build real strength. The best choice is the one you can recover from. Practice consistently and progress. Here's a simple 2-week test. Keep your program the same. Same days, same sets and reps, same top sets and back-offs. Run high bar for 2 weeks, then low bar for 2 weeks. Track your estimated 1 rep max from your top sets and compare bar control and depth. Choose the position that gives you the higher estimate with cleaner control and run that for your next block. Scope and limits of cueing. Use 1 or 2 cues per rep max. Slow lifts allow 1 on the way down and 1 on the way up, or 1 during setup and 1 during movement. More than that becomes noise. For fast lifts like the power clean, once the bar moves, real-time cueing doesn't land. Teach in the warm-up. Cue before the rep, then let the rep happen. Cues are individual. What clicks for you might not click for someone else. That's normal. Coaches test a few options, keep the one that produces the right movement, and toss the rest. Language matters, but outcomes matter more. Don't fixate on the words, fixate on the result. Bar over midfoot, a strong brace, hips and chest rising together. A quick note across other lifts so you see the pattern. The deadlift setup loves brace hard and take the slack. To hold your back in extension, think long spine and chest to the wall in front of you, not hyperextended. On bench, the bar path is back then up, toward the shoulders and then vertical. On the overhead press, think face then space. Bar travels close to the face, then straight up. Same philosophy, 1 or 2 cues that protect the model under load. Before we wrap, let's talk spotting and safety. Use collars on the bar. Set your safety bars or pins at the right height. If a rep feels wrong, rack it. There is no heroism in a bad rep. Here's your action checklist to use today. Set a medium stance with toes 15 to 30 degrees out. Create a solid rack position. High bar on the traps or low bar on the rear delts. Unrack strong. Take 1 or 2 steps back. Set your feet and fix your eyes. Take a big breath. Brace 360. Ribs down and hold. Break hips and knees together and keep the bar over midfoot. Hit depth. Hip crease below the top of the knee. Without dive bombing, drive up with hips and chest rising together and keep the bar stacked over midfoot. Exhale at the top, reset and repeat. If you want a printable version of that checklist, comment PDF and I'll share it. Tell me which cue made your squat click. Brace hard, midfoot, or up together. If this helped, subscribe. I post clear, barbell only strength, squat, deadlift, bench, overhead press. No nonsense.
just results.